So Overwatch has been out for about 3 months, and I figured I may as well give it a post-launch look now that I've had long enough to at least settle my own thoughts and opinions. Mostly. Given that before Overwatch, stylized and refined hero shooters were very sparse, and the closest dumb cunts had to compare Overwatch to was TF2, careful thought needs to be given to how the gameplay has both panned out and looks to continue. I feel like Overwatch balance is far more contentious than a lot of other multiplayer shooters. Not multiplayer games in general, because the recalcitrant handicapped masses that screech about Dota and League still exist, however much we wish they didn't. I can talk to numerous friends, and each and every one of them have a vastly different opinion for the majority of characters, but only a few agreeances. A quick scroll through the few different forum websites show pretty much the same general inagreeability. No one knows how to make the game balanced because the characters are so diverse that the problem isn't the heroes so much as it is the players and their inexperience. Blizzard's sitting back, seeing what happens in a wide variety of matches with varying playstyles, and looking at what heroes stand out as winners regardless of situation. That's how they're balancing it, and it's working. So I'm at least hopeful for gameplay balance. As for gameplay enjoyment itself, the previously mentioned extreme diversity does lend itself to helping make the sparse variety of maps less draining. And with more than 150 hours under my belt, I can say that I've definitely settled into a strict set of heroes I play consistently, but I still sometimes shake it up by trying to play somebody I suck at. When it comes to how Overwatch looks and sounds, the community screams like a bunch of regressive troglodytes and compares it to Team Fortress 2 because cartoony shooters! Take at least 3 seconds of thought before you just jump on the first thing that pops into your head. You are all truly retarded. Overwatch lends itself to a very post-scarcity sci-fi look and feel, with so much of what it has fitting into the uncanny valley of modern design. The cars, the augments, the weapons, it all falls into a very carefree idea of what things could be without paying attention to how they can be. There's also some League of Legends cinematics-esque work on the particles. You might not notice it at first, but they look distinctly drawn in comparison to other aspects of the game which are designed to look rendered and three-dimensional. It's subtle, to the point where I feel that it's almost wasted, but I understand how it could have easily become overburdening, so I'll give it a pass, because watching rockets explode still looks nice. Beyond the disgusting lack of interplayer communication the HUD gives you, something Blizzard is looking to address in the coming update for medics at least, there isn't really much more to look at when it comes to the visuals. I don't really care about touching on the sound design, primarily because I'm lazy and there's so much to it that I could do a whole video on it. I'll try to summarize it quickly and move on. Everyone sounds unique, each character has unique footsteps and is blatantly obvious if they're in direct sightlines of you or not. It's hard to talk about post-launch work developers put into a game without very easily upsetting either them or the shitposters in the community that think they speak for them. So it's probably a good thing I think Blizzard are a bunch of greedy cunts, and that the development team could use a good slap around the head. Bug fixes seem to be pretty quick, I'm not gonna lie. New characters or changes and rebalances don't seem too slapdash or stupid either. Look at D.Va. Greatly shaking up her playstyle to make her both a viable and well-balanced character, without throwing out the rest of the game's balance, is not something developers do often. I'm not saying it's hard to do, because it usually isn't. But the fact it wasn't fucked up shows a level of consideration and thought into the rebalances that should set the precedent for future changes. Hopefully. The Summer Games update was pretty neat though, adding a bunch of skins and victory poses and other useless shit that only matters if you care. And you do care to some degree. Actually, if the Summer Games did anything, it showed us how greedy Blizzard is. The cunts locking off the cosmetics to only be available through the shit crates that rarely drop anything good past level 40. And no information on whether or not we'll be able to unlock them with credits after the event? Fuck you, Blizzard! And fuck anyone with the argument, it's just cosmetic. For a game that was so ridiculously overhyped and widely regarded as the new coming of Jesus for some fucking reason, it's held up reasonably well over these past few months and looks to be on a continuing uphill trend. Not a lot of people already don't have it, but for those of you who are sitting on the fence, I do love the game and I have a lot of fun with it, but you should definitely watch some bog standard gameplay on YouTube before you really decide to buy it, because at the time of writing, it is not cheap.